Welcome into your reading for this week. I am T from Tiny Divinations, here to break down the cards with you. Before we get started, make sure you're following the channel. Make sure you share this message with anyone who needs it. As usual, we have our 3 piles. Pick the pile or piles that you are drawn to, or you can pick a number between 1 and 8, and the number you choose will appear on your pile now. I'll see you in your reading. Welcome in group 1. Let's get into your cards. So the first cards we have are the energy of your week. These cards come from the Clarity deck. You have Inner Sight. You already know the answer. Say it out loud. Towards what within do you have resistance? What do you want to do about this? The other card you have is Advisors. What do you need? Who do you need to listen to more right now? Who do you need to listen to less right now? How can you make this happen? So, part of the energy of your cards this week has to do with action, right? You need to say things out loud. You need to figure things out. You need to sit with yourself, right? So, there's things that you need to do this week. It's not necessarily a passive week, there are energies that you have to work with, right? We have the Inner Sight as well as Advisors. And so, just looking back from what they actually say, there may be a push and pull between what you think and what somebody else thinks, or what you think you should do versus needing or feeling like you have to get other people's opinions to make the decision. In some cases, that is you kind of not taking authority, or kind of like you wanting to not sit in what you know you need to do, or not wanting to sit with the answer that you've already decided, but feeling like you need to get validation, or feeling like you need people to back up what you want to do for yourself, when you already know the answer. You already know what you want to do. And while it may scare you, and while you may be unsure of what comes next, right? This is very much what you've decided or what you feel. Okay. And so, who do you need to listen to more right now? Do you need to listen to other people, or do you need to listen more to yourself? Right. And within, how can you make this happen for those people? It may be, again, sitting with yourself, right? Recognizing what resistance you have to just owning what you think and what you believe, and why that leads you to then have to feel like you have to go to other people to get clarity or validation for what you already know. Okay. With both these cards, there's definitely energy that we may need to decide on things this week. There may be things that come up that we have to make quick decisions on, or that we need to like sit with our gut on. There's also clearly things that need to be sat with and released, or things that need to be realigned to fit what you need, or what you want, or what works best for you this week. So this is some of the energy that I'm getting from these 2 energy cards. Let's move into some specific things that may happen. Okay, so getting into some more specific things that may happen this week. Oh, okay. Rebirth, new beginnings, patience, creativity, timeout, communication, love. Okay, so getting into some things that may happen this week, we have new beginnings and rebirth. So there's definitely energy for something to be changing this week, something to be starting this week, something to be restarting this week, for you to be interested in starting something back up, for somebody else to be interested in starting something back up. We also have the love card. So that could be a situation that comes back, that's rebirth, that could, come in. It could also be a situation where it's like a new love situation, you're ready to date, you're out dating, It may be a situation where you're ready to start doing something new in terms of creativity, something new in terms of like a new skill or something that you've been wanting to do that you start to do this week or you want to start to do this week. Some of that may not work out in the way that you want it to. So it may be like, okay, for example, I want to start running again this week. I decide I'm going to start running again this week. I run twice, and then the rest of the week it rains and I can't run anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's like it feels like a little bit something that might be out of your control that may happen, which is part of why we have the patience card. It also may be that it may take you a little bit longer to start than you thought it would this week. That doesn't mean to not do that. You have clearly the energy of doing or wanting to have something happen or having it like an inspiration in some way. So don't allow yourself to be deterred by some of the things that may happen this week that seem like it's trying to stop you or block you, or it's not necessarily what you thought it might be. Okay, it's still happening because we have these two cards that speak to it still happening. You just have to have a little bit of understanding that everything doesn't happen necessarily in your timeline, right? So that's why I feel like we have this patience card and the timeout card. Under the patience card, we have communication. So in general this week, or if there are ways in which you're feeling frustrated about things, you're feeling like things are taking too long, you're feeling like things aren't going the way that you thought they would, you should definitely communicate that to the people that are around you. You should communicate that to the people that you are doing whatever or are involved in said situation. I would also say that journaling would be a really good tool this week to be able to get how you're feeling out, especially when, like I said, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're upset. And in those cases where you feel like you can't express that to the people or persons involved, or they might not be available for you to say it to them. So, you being able to just express it in general, voice note, journal, however you decide to get it out of you, is definitely a good thing. I just saw in my head there are some people that have things that they're holding on to that may come up this week that you need to write down and burn. Like literally write the letter to the person or write down what you're feeling. But for specifically some people, it doesn't need to go in a journal necessarily. It needs to go in a burn bowl. And we need to like get rid of that energy or like release those feelings kind of thing. So just be mindful of that for whoever that is for. Okay. We have creativity and the love card under the creativity. So there's something about people doing things that they really like this week, or you doing something creative this week and you realizing you really like to do it, or that something that comes out of it you really like. So for example, if you were somebody that like went and sang somewhere for the first time and you got a whole bunch of love and adoration and you realized you actually really enjoy having the energy from the crowd or having, praise for what you do, like that's something that could come out of it, right? Or it could be like a creativity thing and you, I don't know, take a class where you go and make there's this class I want to take where they make mosaic lamps, and you could do that shit and realize, I actually really love to do this. This might be something I actually want to do, like, and more than just a class. So this is part of the energy that I feel like comes up with the creativity and the love. We're definitely wanting to do things, create things, make things, in some cases use our hands, in some cases use our imaginations, in some cases it's a way for you to release and to get these things out, by using certain colors and shapes or certain mediums to create or to channel or to put it into a story, or something like that. So that's definitely a thing this week as well. And then we have the timeout card. So there's a way that we also need to relax. It's like we want to do things this week, but we don't want to burn ourselves out. We want to make sure that we're giving ourselves ample time for things to grow. We're giving ourselves ample time to get things done. We're not pressuring ourselves for things. We're also making sure that we relax and take time out if we're just going and going and going. Like we have to have the balance of things. Like I said, you do not want to burn yourself out. For some reason, that is a thing this week. And then the communication and love cards just stood out to me. So I feel like somebody might reach out to you this week that you love, that you did love, that loves you. You may feel compelled to reach out to somebody this week that you love, that loves you. Um, yeah, that's a thing. And it may be that you want to reach out to somebody. If you're doing something creative, there may be somebody near you that is doing the same thing, or somebody that you can work with, or somebody you've been interested in working with that you may want to reach out to as well. So, this is what I am getting from the specific things that we have going on this week from these cards. Let's wrap your reading up with some words of wisdom. Okay, so let's get y'all some words of wisdom for this week. Okay. 1818, willpower. Achievements, success, progress, prosperity, ambition, courage, fortune. Significant events are on the horizon for you. You will make great strides in endeavors and gain invaluable experiences. The right people and resources will come your way, presenting excellent opportunities and positive changes. Embrace your journey towards greatness. And then we have 888, karma. Balance, prosperity. That's the second time we have prosperity. Success. It's the second time we have success. Wealth, cycles, cause and effect, gratitude. Abundance is on the way and it extends beyond just financial wealth. This is a reminder that true fortune encompasses all aspects of life. If you don't appreciate those around you today, they may not be there tomorrow. Take responsibility for your actions and use this awareness to unlock your greatest potential. So I feel like these make a lot of sense, especially the first card that we have. I think that this card will begin to make sense as the week goes through. So this is what we have for your reading this week, Group 1. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate y'all so much. Like I said in the beginning, if you're not already following the channel, follow me. Share this message with somebody who may need it for this week. Definitely follow our podcast, Tiny Musings. Our August reading is coming out this week. Also, just to let y'all know, my books are currently closed. So I will not be doing any live readings, any email readings. If you would like a reading, you will have to check me out on my Instagram, where I occasionally do readings on the weekends. So outside of that, y'all, thank you so much for being here with me. Again, I appreciate y'all. Please let me know how your week is. Please let me know what happens. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If you picked another number, I will see you in that pile. And if not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in, Group 2. Let's get into your reading. So, the cards you have for the energy of your week. First, we have wandering. What are your feelings, beliefs, or stories about the act of aimlessly wandering? How does it give you an important insight into thoughts and patterns that are keeping you stuck? You also have the body. What shift in how you carry or care for your body will help you to get what you want? Okay, so part of the energy that we have for your week has to do with movement, getting unstuck, getting things moving, changing how you think, changing how you do things, recognizing in what ways that you're doing things now are not in alignment with getting you where you want to go or getting you what you want to have or how you want to feel or look. Um, Part of it also has to do with patterns and your thoughts and habits. It feels like there's a little bit of fixed energy up in here. People who may be feeling like they know what to do, even though they're not getting the results that they want. People that are feeling like shifting or changing might be too hard, or might be more like than the capacity that they have right now, or they're not feeling motivated enough to change, or they're waiting for something to happen to help them shift or change in certain ways. This may be specific to your body and the changes that you want to happen within your body. This may just be your life in general, like your like the body to me could also just be all of the things that are encompassed in your life, like the body of your life, like the body of your story kind of thing. Because we have the wandering, it may also be that some people may not know exactly where they're going, or you may not know like what trajectory you're on, but there's something this week to seeing it more as an opportunity than a fault, right? So what are the stories that you tell yourself about the act of aimlessly wandering? So if you're not sure where you're going, you have the opportunity to kind of play with things. you have the opportunity to allow yourself to see where you're being led to, or to allow, the goodness to happen to you, to surrender. You don't have to necessarily figure it out, because you're being instructed to just kind of be, and be okay with that. And so part of your thinking around that may be what's keeping you stuck, right? Part of you feeling like you need to do things all the time, and the things that you're doing not actually giving you the results that you want, and you recognizing that maybe I need to just stop right now, is a part of like changing your patterns or changing your thought process that may be keeping you stuck. But actually sitting with it and wanting to know what these things are is important. And clearly, because we have both of these cards where we're talking about needing to change how we think about something, or needing to change how we care for ourselves, and there are things this week that we have to evaluate, and that we're going to have to change, or that we're going to have to um, reinvent in a way. Okay, so that's what I'm getting from these two cards. I want to pull y'all and see. I want to pull and see if there's any more information, or okay, what we got here. Family. Okay. And then we have, okay, family and silence. Where is there too much noise right now? How can you bring more silence into the space where you are questioning? And I feel like where we're questioning is in our body, is in where we're going, right? Um, Again, bringing more silence to it, to me, suggests more acceptance. It suggests less worry, and more like sitting within what's happening, um, quieting your mind so that you can get answers, things like that. What feelings and associations do you have around silence that need to be worked on too? So again, we have the two. So there's things that we're working on this week. There are a number of things that are coming up. We have the family that came out with the silence. So part of what may be keeping us stuck, or part of the ways that we're not caring for ourselves, may have to do with our family unit, may have to do with things that we were raised to think, or things that we were raised to do, or ways in which other people are imposing their opinions on the ways in which you feel, think, move, or how things that they've said have affected you, and made you who you are now, in a sense. So, yeah, these are all the things that are coming up for me in terms of the energy for this week. Let's move into some specific things that may happen. Okay, so let's get some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so we have completion, we have pride, we have spiritual career, we have moderation, we have rebirth. Okay, and let me just get some clarifiers. Okay. Okay, so we have completion and moderation, pride, spiritual career, and rebirth. And then we have our clarifiers for some of these cards. So the completion card, when I pulled the moderation card, I was asking for a clarifier for completion. So I feel like specifically there are people who are trying to get rid of habits. That's why we got part of those cards that we got in the first initial thing. There are people that are trying to get rid of ways in which you indulge too much, or ways in which you take too much, or ways in which you are doing something that's way overbalanced or out of alignment, and that you recognize needs to end, that has already ended. So it's like, for example, if I need to stop shopping so much, right? I need to balance my spending. Part of the reason why there's an end to this and I need to moderate is because now I don't have any money, right? And so, like, I don't have a choice is part of what it feels like. There's ways in which there's things that you have to change, that some people have to change because they don't have a choice but to change. We have the completion card, so something has ended, something has like been final, something's closed, something has been like taken away, something um has hit its capacity, kind of thing. And so that's part of why we need to reevaluate. We need to take something away. We need to recognize how much we actually need, things like that. So that's definitely something that's specific that can come up this month or this week, excuse me. We then have the Pride card, and the two clarifiers we have are the Page of Coins and the Lovers. So with the Pride and the Page of Coins and the Lovers, there's something specific this week about, don't allow your pride, or being fixed or being obstinate or feeling like you're right in the situation, every situation, in what you're doing and the way you're moving. Don't allow that to stop you um, from getting the opportunities or the new beginnings or the um, there's something that's available to you that you could be stopping because of your pride. Like, there's an opportunity that's available to you, there's help that's available to you, there's something that could be coming to you that you could be stopping because of your pride. And or don't allow your pride to like fuck up your relationships. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. That could be friends, that could be siblings, that could be family. There's something also about like both of your pride, your ego, you're feeling like you have to be right, you're feeling like you are you know better than someone, or that you know more than someone, or that um they're not in a position to give you advice, or what, you know what I mean? Like, there's something like that, or there's something that's like, um let's say you walked into a place and you walked past the person at the desk because you didn't think they were important, but little did you know that's like the CEO or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the energy of the pride in these cards. Like, kind of check yourself this week. Check yourself, check how you're talking to people, check what, how you're moving, and how you respond to people. Check if you're feeling like, in some way you're on a different level, or you're better, or you're smarter, or your ego is kind of leading the way in situations, because you definitely could be stopping yourself from, like I said, receiving help, receiving opportunities. You could be causing friction or tension in relationships. You could stop a partnership that could be happening, or like some kind of co-creation thing that could be happening this week. So like, just be mindful of that. Then we have the spiritual career and the Seven of Cups. So specifically this week, there's something to being able to have choice in what you ultimately want to do, or what you're doing, or what comes next, or um, what you want to choose. We have the Seven of Cups here. They're all different lamps, if you can see. Like, they're all different kind of lamps, right? So within the spiritual career, there may be people that want to do a multitude of things. You may be thinking about a whole bunch of different things, and you can't do everything, right? So there may be a way in which this week we have to hone in on what we want to do. We have to pick a couple things. We have to sit with ourselves and really understand what makes the most sense for us right now, or what is really um, you know, aligned with where we want to go, kind of thing. And it's not about just money or anything. Like, we have spiritual career here. So whatever this is to the core of you, or it's something that you feel like is your purpose, or something like that. Within spiritual career, this could also be something that is in like a spiritual field, something that's more woo woo. Like, if you're thinking about becoming or doing astrology or reading, like tarot reading or divination, or you're thinking about doing Reiki, or you're thinking about opening up a shop, or you're thinking about adding that in some way, or thinking about doing that as a career and like shifting from what you do, like corporate muggle work, to something like that. You have options, right? You just kind of got to sit down and figure out what it is you want to do. And then at the end of this, we have the rebirth card. So again, there's ways in which we are supposed to be changing and adjusting this week. We are going to be changing and adjusting this week. We may not look the same the end of the week as we did in the beginning. There may be aspects of our lives that look different, or ways in which we think that look different than we felt, in the beginning or last week or a couple months ago. Or, your thoughts may change day to day in terms of your growth because of some of the things that we're thinking, some of the things we have to figure out, some of the ways in which we have to correct ourselves and, like, sit with what is happening and what needs to change, so there's definitely transformation energy that's specifically coming into this week. The rebirth card has to do with us sitting in our principles and sitting in your values and walking from wisdom, and recognizing when your ego is needed and when it's not, or when it's out of balance, so that speaks to a lot of the different things that we talked about, excuse me, and the specific things that are going to happen this week. So it makes a lot of sense to me why we have this at the end, because I feel like it goes with everything, and it's kind of the filter through which you need to move this week. So this is what we have for the specific things that may happen. Let's wrap your reading up with some words of wisdom. Okay, so getting you some words of wisdom for this week. Oh, I'm gonna slip back in. Okay. Okay, so the words of wisdom we have are 1414, light up, good vibes, balance, respect, family, optimism, quality, new connections, joy. That's the second time we got family as well, so just to be mindful. Focus on your needs, desires, and passions. Your needs, desires, and passions. A lighthearted approach makes everything more accessible. New opportunities, a fresh friendship, or even an addition to your family are on the horizon. Positive energy will accelerate the flow of blessings coming your way. And then we have 222, alignment, harmony, authenticity, relationships, growth, balance, choices, devotion, trust. How do you move forward toward your true calling? Simply follow what brings you joy. Your passion and enthusiasm will be your guiding light. If something sparks your interest, follow it. These paths will lead you closer to discovering your life's purpose. I think that makes a lot of sense in terms of the spiritual career card that we have, and leaning into your passion and the sparks. I think this card makes a lot of sense in terms of encompassing everything that we kind of talked about this week that may happen. You don't want to stop yourself from new opportunities, the friendships and relationship aspect of it, being able to move positively throughout the week, and move from, like, yourself and what you need and what you desire and what you have a passion for, as opposed to what others are thinking or wanting. So it makes a lot of sense that we got these cards. These are your words of wisdom. And this is your reading for this week, group 2. So thank you again for reading with me. Please, please, please share this message with somebody who may need it. Follow the channel. Let me know how your week is. Let me know what's going on this week. If you're not already, follow the podcast, Tiny Musings with T. Our August reading will be out in a few days. Follow me on Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And thank you again. If you have another pile or a number, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in, group 3. Let's get into your cards. So the cards that we have are the energy for your week. The Destroyer. What needs to be burned to the ground to make space for something new? Then we have Money. So part of the energy of your week, I feel like these two go together and are separate, right? So money may be very much on your mind. It may be that you have too little money. It may be that you are getting money this week. So there may be like just things around your finances that come up this week. There may be energy for you to make money. You may be spending a lot of money this week. It just may be a part of a focus. Putting these things together, there may be things around your money that are stopping you from making more money, or that are keeping you from being able to expand, or that are keeping you in like certain consciousness, like poverty consciousness or lack or non-deserving, right? And so these things may come up in different ways this week in terms of something that you need to remove. For some people, it may be that you are, like I said, spending too much, or you're not saving enough, or there's habits around your money, how you make money, how you save money, that need to be removed and reevaluated, and put other things in their place. Separately, outside of the money, you have the destroyer, what needs to be burned. So there's things that are taking up space that are no longer helping you with growth. There are things that are taking up space in your life that are um, taking your energy or taking from you and not adding to the experience, right? They're not growing with you anymore, and or they are keeping you stuck or keeping you in, like I said before, a certain mindset. And so there are things that we need to weed out. There may be people that we may need to weed out this week, that we recognize that aren't serving our greater good, or aren't are no longer in alignment with where we are in life, or just aren't people that you want to be in community with, right? It may be a situation that needs to be let go, that is keeping you stuck, that is keeping you in a certain consciousness or thought process. Like I said before, it may be those thought processes, it may be those habits. So those are some of the things that are coming up with the destroyer and the money that I think we have energy around this week. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Overwhelm. How are you hiding from overwhelm? How are you hiding inside overwhelm? In each case, what are you hiding from? Okay, so there's energy for us to feel like things are too much. Again, it may be around your money, it may be around the things that need to go. And the recognition of that may be too much, or you may not know how you're going to weed this thing out, or how you're going to remove yourself from this place or this space. It may be that there are just a lot of things going on this week, and part of you may just be overwhelmed with the amount of things that are happening. It may be for some people, it feels like you're hiding from something. So, like for the how are you hiding inside the overwhelmed, there may be like a specific thing, like one thing that you need to deal with, but you're using a whole bunch of other shit to not have to deal with that thing, or not have to look at that thing, or something like that. So, this is definitely something that we need to sit with and ask ourselves, right? If these things are related in terms of the overwhelm and destroyed, how would you feel, or how will you feel on the other side of removing this thing? That may be what may help you get through what you're feeling with the overwhelm, to get to what you need to do. So that's some of the energy that I'm getting from the cards we have for this week. Let's move into some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so getting into some specific things that may happen this week. something popped out and then went back in. I don't know what we're gonna keep going. Let's see if it popped back out. I don't know what it was, but I feel like I know what color it was. So. All right. Okay, so we have manifestation, creativity, environment, this card has come out in all three piles. I'm almost positive it's been all three piles. I'm almost positive. We have some definitely transformative energy this week. Shit is shifting. The energy is shifting. There's ways in which you can shift your life, shift your environment, shift what you're bringing in. So interesting. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. This is a whole pile of things. So I'm gonna just take this, put it away. But we had this self discipline. Okay. Okay, so starting with manifestation, it feels like there's specifically something that you want to happen this week, something that you want to conjure, something that you want to create, something that you want to, make happen. And part of it is owning that you can do that, right? And part of owning that you can do that is recognizing your own power, sitting in your power and your confidence. We have this creativity card here, which is yellow. We also have the self discipline card. So, within recognizing your power to create and to manifest and to bring things in, is also recognizing your power to bring the effort needed, to bring the examination of self that's needed, to bring the consistency and the perseverance that's needed to do this thing as well, to do these things, to feel this way, whatever it is that you're trying to bring in. So like that feels like a pertinent part of the things that are happening this week. It feels like you definitely can make some shit happen this week. You have creativity, you have manifestation, so you can make some shit happen. You can make something shake. You can make something tangible. Feels like somebody's making something very specific. It's like a prototype of something, or like you're creating something that you can like sit back and look at and see like, oh, like yes, this is going to add up to something else. So that's a part of it this week. um there's a lightness to the colors and the energy for this week. So again, remembering in terms of utilizing your power and utilizing your ability to attract and law of attraction, is that we need to stay positive and keep fear and anxieties out, because the law of attraction works just as well as the law of repulsion, right? So we want to almost repulse the things that are negative that we're trying to get rid of. And that will be something specific that helps us this week. Okay. You have creativity this week as well. So, like I said before, there's something that you want to birth, there's something that you may want to create. So there are people that may need to tap back into their creativity this week, or you may be asked to tap back into your creativity this week. Part of how you may problem solve or need to problem solve this week has to do with being less logical or practical and being more outside of that thinking, more creative, more innovative, more outside of the box with how you solve things this week, or how you do things this week, or how you look at things this week. We have the environment card next to that. So it may also have to do with your environment, like your house or outside of your house, or how you are able to get more time outside of your responsibilities to like be outside, be in nature, be in spaces that kind of feed you or allow you to disconnect. The environment and the creativity may also be a part of where you become creative this week. So like you may want to get outside if you need to do writing, or you're painting, or you need to draw something, or you need to like you want to do something creative. It may help you to do it or to connect more by doing it outside environment. It may also be that people are doing something outside this week. Like you may like go to a paint and sip that you wind up sitting outside where you're doing it, right? Or you take a walk outside and that gives you an idea, or it sparks something, or it helps you to move on something, that you want to do. That's a creative thing, right? There's definitely specifically a way in which we need to play this week, in which we need to get out of the spaces that we've been in for a while, and which we need to kind of um, get some air, get some sun, feel some water, feel freer, get out of a recessed lighting and like air conditioned spaces. We need to like get into nature. So we have that. And then the rebirth and the self discipline cards, I feel like they go together. I feel like we have this transformative energy, and if you're drawn to any of the other piles, or you got another number you were thinking of, definitely go to those other piles, because um, we have similar messages in all of the piles, especially in terms of transformation. And specifically in this pile, part of the transformation has to do with us being more um, disciplined and in line with what we want, and doing the things that align with that, right? And taking out the things that don't align with that, or recognizing the ways in which we are being lax, or lazy in some cases, or just not putting enough effort into wanting to better ourselves or wanting to do for ourselves or wanting to change for yourselves, right? Sitting in our power, sitting in our ability to make shit happen for ourselves. Are you somebody that feels like you can take the horns, or like the wheel of life, or you feel like you're just the passenger and you just gotta take what comes? You know what I mean? This week is very much about taking the wheel and you deciding where you're driving, and part of you deciding that is you taking the wheel and being awake to drive and having enough gas, and you know what I mean, like that's part of the discipline like being able to drive, and so like with that, it's being able to move in the ways that help you to be looser, to help you to connect with your environment, that help you stay consistent with that help you add in the things that you know that you've been needing to be consistent on to help you manifest whatever it is you're trying to get. So this is what I'm getting from the specific things that may happen this week. Let's wrap our reading up with some words of wisdom. Okay, so let's get you some words of wisdom for this week. Oh, all right. Okay. So the cards we have are 0303, taking chances, balance, caution, awareness, boundaries, health, communication, serenity, protection. Take a moment to observe the people around you, your environment, and your health. This is a gentle reminder to stay cautious and alert to prevent any future issues. Prioritize clear communication and maintain healthy boundaries to ensure your well being. So, again, there's definitely things that we need to evaluate, things in which we need to see if they're keeping us stuck, things we need to release and let go of. Okay. Then we have 333, support, expansion, inspiration, confidence, connection, purpose, mastery. Focus inward now. So, like it said, your environment, your health, the people around you, right? Perfect the skills you have, uncover new talents, and unleash your creativity. So, again, we have creativity, it's a big part of your week. Embrace your inner artist. You do not have to feel like you're good at something to try it, right? Expressing yourself will enhance your self esteem and solidify your purpose. Your unique abilities can have a positive impact on your community. So don't discount yourself this week. Don't discount your artistry. Don't discount the ways in which you can express your artistry or express your creativity. Okay. Don't discount your power and how your power and your creativity can lead you to something you couldn't even imagine. All right. So that is what we have for your words of wisdom for this week. And this was your reading, group 3. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with me. Please let me know how your week is. Please let me know what's going on this week. If you would follow the channel if you're not already, share the message with somebody who may need it. If you aren't already, follow our podcast, Tiny Musings. Our August reading will be out in a couple of days. Follow me on Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And just a reminder, my books are closed right now. So if you'd like a reading, you got to catch me on Instagram when I'm doing donation-based readings. Usually sometime on the weekend. It's not all the time. It's just like when we have a full moon or like there's a transit or, spirit is telling me to do it. So for right now, like I said, the books are closed. So no live readings, no email readings. I will let y'all know when they are back open. So again, thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate y'all. If you have another pile or number, I will see you in that reading. And if not, I will see you in our next reading.